In this video, we're going to go into the payroll module and set up our 401k processes, and we'll cover the simple IRA as well since they're fairly similar. We're in settings, payroll, and company, and this is where we're going to start. Now, there's a couple different places to do 401k. You'll notice up here at the top, there's a 401k company match percentage. If all you're doing is a standard 3% match and that's it, you're not doing any kind of tiered process, then using the top field is actually good enough. It actually accomplishes everything you need to, and you don't have to get into the more complicated stuff at the bottom. But it's either or. You're either going to use the one up here at the top where it's just a flat percentage, or you're going to use the one down at the bottom to do the breakdown. So this one up here, 3%, you're done. Simple IRA, same thing, 3%, you're done. Now, if we go down here to the bottom of this control, and again, this is the first step of many here. Down here at the bottom, we got the 401k setup. And here we're actually able to set up a matrix of information. So the first thing is a beginning percentage, our ending percentage, and then the calculation percentage. So in this particular case, we have a 0 to 3%. We're going to calculate off 100% of that amount of pay. Down here, the next one says from 3.01% to 5%, they're only getting 50%. So this is the customer or the company match portion of the process. So we're basically saying that the company is going to match the employee's percentage. So if the employee pays 2%, we're going to match 2%. If they pay 3%, we'll match 3. If they pay 4, then in this scenario, we're going to match 3% at 100% the pay. And then we're going to match the other 2 or the other 1%, we're going to match up to 50% of the pay. So the percentages here can be broke down any way you want them to be, but this is again the company portion of what this is going to calculate. Now, if we go to the next tab and we get over here to our income, so we're going to step 5, and this is where we're setting up our compensation. We need to make sure that we actually set up the proper category or the compensation that we have here. So you'll notice up here first we have 401k non-elective, and so we'll explain this one. So this is going to work off of that top percentage. So the 401k item here, if you see the 401k tiered, you'll see down here at the bottom you got tiered, and then you got the 401k. The 401k is going to work off of that top percentage field, and it's going to be working pretty much the same way as the other one, the tiered one, if you only had one tier. So if you had 0 to 3%, and that was the only tier you have, this is basically doing the same thing. Now, if you select the non-elective, what you're doing is you're saying that the company is giving the employee, in this case, 3, whatever that particular one was, it's giving them 3% of that amount, no matter what. So no matter what the employee portion of that is, if they only were putting in 2% or 1% or $10, it doesn't make any difference. But in this situation, if we say it's a non-elective, we're basically saying that no matter what the employee puts in, we're always going to give them 3%. So that's what the non-elective checkbox is. So that's one piece of pay that we can put in there, or compensation. Now, if we go down here to the bottom and look at its setup, you'll notice that it's actually set up as a tax type of 401k tiered, and this one is going to work off of the grid down at the bottom. So what we're doing right now is we're actually assigning to the payroll system, the company side of the payroll system, all of the compensation packages that we have available to the employees. Now, in a moment, we're going to actually go into the employee record and assign what specific compensation packages are going to go to each individual employee. So I did mention a moment ago that you can do either or with these, but you actually can have both set up you just can only you should only have one set up for each employee. You're not going to want to have two different things on the same employee's record. Um, so right now we have set our compensation package, and also you'll notice here that we've got an IRA portion. It's set up the same as a 401k. You're basically just going to select it and then put in what if it's a non-elective. And it works the same way as well. It either works off a portion of what the employee is putting in up to a certain percentage, or it is going to be there no matter what, depending on whether or not you've got that selected. So you add in your compensation packages here. Now the next thing we want to do is we're going to go over here to the employee record, and I'm just going to select an employee here. And we're going to go to the next page, and we're going to get over here to income items. And you'll notice here that we have 401k tiered as an income item for this particular employee. Now, this is to cover the company portion of that money that's coming into the employee's paycheck. So if you think about this, the company is giving him an additional amount of income because he's on this 401k plan, and we're matching that particular amount of money. And then in a moment, we're also going to deduct money if the employee is putting into that plan as well. So the first step is to put in the amount that we're actually going to put in for this 401k. Now, because this is automatically calculated when we do the paycheck based on their pay amount, we don't need to put in an amount here, but we do want to make sure that it's always included on that particular employee's paycheck. So we're going to add the 401k tier or the 401k, depending on which one we want to use. And now I'm going to select the next item, and we're going to get over here to deduction items. Now this is where I'm going to choose the 401k program that the employee also wants to put money into the program. So here we're going to select the 401k tier or the 401, depending on which one we want to use. We're going to tell it to always deduct from that employee's paycheck, and then we're going to either put in an amount or we're going to put in a percentage. So if the employee wants to match, or they want to put in an extra 2%, we can put in a 2%, or if they want to put in a flat $50 every paycheck, then they can do that. So what is going to end up happening is when we do the pay, the system is going to go in, it's going to look at the employee section, it's going to deduct the money that we're supposed to be taking out for the employee, then it's going to look at the company portion and see what we're supposed to add to the employee's paycheck for the company's section. So the only thing to understand is that on the match side, if you're set to match and you're not doing that extra checkbox that we had in there for the way this is working, then you're going to end up having the company. Let's say the employee in here says that we're going to do 2%. Well, if they fill in 2% here, then we're going to deduct 2% of their pay. Well, because we didn't have the other option selected over here in the company section to over here, let's see, one more. Over here, because we didn't select that, I'm sorry, let me get the right one. We'll just look at this one. Because we didn't set it up as a non-elective 401, the system is going to look at the fact that you said you'll match up to 3%, but they're only paying 2%, so you end up matching that 2%. If you select this checkbox, you're going to pay 3% no matter what, and then whatever the employee is adding to it, that will get added in separate. So those are really the only things to kind of keep in mind with the 401k and the simple IRA. Simple IRA does not have a tiered option for it. It's only available for the 401k. So once you have all of that stuff set up, then the next time you generate a paycheck, Lizzy will start looking at that information to determine how much to contribute to the 401k program.